TradeGATEHub.com. I'm Dale Pinkert, and we are powered by TradeView Markets. Today I'm joined by Anthony Grizzante, and I've talked to Grizz several times over the last few years. It's been a long time, Anthony. Really good to hear you, and for the first time see you. How's business, buddy?
Business is good. Been quite an eventful summer with everything going on in the Ukraine, and because of my focus mostly is on energy. So I've been quite busy, put it that way.
Okay. You still doing spots on any of the financial news networks?
No, I'm not right now. I've kind of put that on hold because I'm a single dad.
Okay.
I've
Tough
got a
job.
2-year-old. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a full-time job for sure.
Yeah. So, thank God that you could work from home.
Absolutely.
So really, so you get to at least, what a blessing. Most fathers, I know this has nothing to do with natural gas. I'm sure though your baby has natural gas you have to handle, right, buddy? But a lot of fathers have to, for generations have had to leave the house, go to work,
absolutely,
and not see their kids grow up. So it's fortunate that you can.
Oh, I'm very, very lucky.
All right, so if you're lucky, man, tell me. Crude is. I have the crude chart up here. If you want to just take a quick glance, we've been at this major 94 level, knocking on it a few separate times. Your view on crude, should we take out this support level? Do you see any downside? Do you think it's going to hold? Your view on WTI?
Yeah, I think it is going to hold. I think it's going to hold. I think that, we're going to be set at a range here from, say, dead 94 area till probably about 110.
Okay.
I think the only thing that gets us out of that, unfortunately, is if the economy goes into a recession. But if the economy is going on great guns and the rest of the world opens up, then you're going to see demand pick up. And right now, production just isn't quite there.
Okay, yeah, and Ukraine war as a factor, Anthony. Do you see that as contributing to global tightness? We've drained our strategic petroleum reserve pretty good, and did President Biden accomplish anything going to Saudi Arabia?
No, it doesn't look like it. And the thing about the Saudis also is that their capacity. I mean, they're kind of maxed out at this point. They're producing nearly as much as they can, and they were clear about that. I think they said that it's going to take a few years for them to get up to 13 million barrels a day. So, that there's a problem there.
Okay, so yeah, it's like the Fed said, they can attempt to control demand but not supply, and you see supply constraints continuing, possibly exacerbating, but you're putting a level on top at about 110. So to me, that sounds like you're not looking for any major move anytime soon.
I'm not. I'm really not.
Okay.
This rally, it's really about the products. I mean,
the gasoline, yeah.
Absolutely. Gasoline, heating oil, which is jet fuel, diesel. Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares if crude oil is $110 a barrel if gasoline is $3 a gallon. Nobody cares, right. So that's what we're looking at.
So is that more about supply constraints or refining capacity?
Refining capacity. We lost about 1 million barrels of that during the pandemic. There's been new restrictions put on them. There was no demand during the pandemic, obviously. So we've lost about 1 million barrels there. And, that doesn't look like it's
what happened.
Back.
Were refineries part of the Great Resignation where they were just shut?
What? That's certainly part of it, Dale. But most, the situation is that there are restrictions on, methane emissions, things like that. Were new restrictions were put on, so it would have cost hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases to upgrade these refiners, and they just don't have the cash or the wherewithal to do it right now because there's definitely, and I don't want to get too political, but this administration is definitely saying which way they want to go as far as oil is concerned.
Yeah, green. So
Right,
kind
exactly.
of self-sabotage Germany building their
Absolutely.
reliance upon an unreliable partner historically. Kind of surprises me that the Germans would do that with what has been a natural enemy through most of their modern history, but they did. And
Right.
people are looking for alternatives. Can uh, nuclear bail us out of this? Takes a long time, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what does it take? 10 years to build a plant? Probably 20
Yeah.
years because, restrictions, environmental groups, nobody wants these in their backyard. Even though it is, relatively safe and clean. You talk about any incidents that happened, those were decades ago. And there's been plenty of nuclear plants running and you haven't had these issues. So, I think that is one of the solutions, certainly, but that's a long way off.
Do you think that we're going to be ranging here in natural gas, much more volatility? I'm using UNG, the ETF, as a proxy for it. That big break that we had in May, which was so counterintuitive, Anthony, because it happened. What drove it down was a fire at a natural
Right.
gas plant. Isn't that correct? So you would
That
think
is.
that'd be less supply, but it cratered natural gas. Why?
It cratered natural gas because whatever we're producing and liquefying, we're exporting, and this is creating a problem here. That this is happening. So Dale, I mean, we need to produce more natural gas in this country because we're kind of the savior of the world at this point.
Yeah,
And
we're the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, aren't we?
absolutely, absolutely, we need to produce a lot more in this country right now.
T. Boone Pickens was talking about that 20 years ago.
He certainly was. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times, and what a gentleman he was.
All right, so your gasoline still leading the way here, Anthony, or is it diesel? Crack spreads. I've been in business a long time. I know that people do a lot of these intermarket types of spreads. Are you just approaching each of them as net long, net short positions when you're trading?
Yes and no. I think that you got to watch the seasonals here, and I think as far as gasoline goes, we're getting towards the end of the season, barring any hurricanes or refinery outages or things like that. So I think that crack spread will come in. As far as the heating oil goes, which is diesel, and Europe relies on that, and we're going to be exporting a lot of that also.
Yeah.
That spread was almost $70 at one point. It's 55 right now, and I actually think you can see it rally even further. So,
Okay.
I think with that, I think natural gas could go to $10. I think if it's a cold winter in the United States, we're going to have a lot of issues here. As far as energy is concerned.
Will it just be price, or will it be that people freeze to death?
Well, I mean, if they can't afford the price, then yes, they're going to
Okay,
freeze
so
to
there
death.
will be availability. It's not
I
like
think so, yeah, but at a
Europe.
price.
Europe faces freezing to death.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
If Putin uses,
that could certainly happen.
I mean, do you think I'm a little surprised Putin's using his leverage now? I thought he'd wait till the winter when it would be more of an issue. Do you think he's going to cut off Europe this winter?
I think that slowly what you're seeing is that's happening right now. So,
Okay, so
I don't know about a complete cutoff. It certainly hurts him also, but this is not looking good right now for Europe.
who's winning this war in Ukraine, Anthony, in your opinion? No one?
In my opinion, the defense contractors.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we should listen to Eisenhower.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They're the ones winning.
All right. So, their stocks have been doing well even during a bear market. And what's your view on what the Fed did? Do you think it was a shift yesterday, and that they knew the GDP number was going to be bad? So, or is our market participants reading something into it that the Fed is, going to neutral for a while, but and they're really not?
Well, Dale, um, I think the Fed was very dovish, a lot more dovish than they should have been, and that kind of helped out investors or gave them a little bit of encouragement. But I don't know. I don't think we're out of this by a long shot, not by a long shot. So
Okay, so still would be you think that this is just a bear market rally in equities that's underway here?
absolutely.
Okay. Any levels you're going to be paying attention to? I know the battle line's around 4,200 for the bulls
Yeah,
and bears.
4,200 on the upside, and on the downside, it looks like around 3,800 and 3,700 in that area. So look for
Okay.
those two numbers. I think we do test the 37 before we test the 42.
Okay. Now this is, I think, the surprise. To me, it looks like the 10-year yield is breaking down here. Tried to hold it. I mean, it was sitting at a breakdown in front of the Fed, and now we're taking out that 274 level pretty well. So looks to me like yields are heading lower, maybe to 220 or so.
That looks like a possibility.
And what are the implications? Could it mean the dollar comes off because it's going to lose some of its interest rate differential edge that it had before, and that what we're having here in the dollar is the development of what could be an important high in the Dixie?
Well, the dollar's had quite a run, so
It
I'm
sure
kind of
has.
looking for that to pull back a little bit here.
Okay.
Markets all work in cycles. So
What's interesting, and I presented this, the commodity currencies, being a commodity guy like you are, Anthony, say for
yes,
example, like the euro, if you look at the euro, it took out the COVID low, right? When the
right,
dollar this was a COVID low, right? The Aussie, which is, has ties to metals and has ties to China, is just corrected, didn't come close to the COVID low. So the commodity currencies are saying, different things compared to, the euro or the yen. Same thing in Canada. You're an oil guy. Canada, this was a COVID high, right? So the dollar,
right.
this would be 103 in the dollar, and the dollar's still trading 106 and a half. So Canada didn't come close. Just, any technician could call this corrective. Is there a message in these commodity currencies? A lot of people are saying that the commodity bull market ended because we have had a big break. Even the grains got hit pretty hard, which I don't understand why, but they
Yeah, I
did.
don't understand that either. And so that's why I don't think it's ended. And I think that this is probably just a little bit of a pullback.
Okay, and you have any favorites in the precious metals? Silver's trying to turn higher on the month. Gold got hammered last week, but held major support. Copper, has been trying to rallied up the $3 level. You have a favorite in the precious metals, or are you neutral, avoid? Where's your head at?
I'm surprised about gold. And I'm not ready to throw in the towel about it or for it yet. I think there's still a place for it in everybody's portfolio. So
Okay,
that's kind of what I'm looking at right now is the gold market. And I
okay,
think that probably around the 1700 area, you want to be long.
okay. Any other markets of interest you'd like to cover with me?
No, I think we've covered it all right now. The biggest fear I have, Dale, is this natural gas market. I mean, prices are well above where they were last winter.
Yeah,
And if this continues into this winter, you're going to see this drag down the economy as a whole. Because certainly the market cannot sustain. The consumer can't sustain paying bills that they're going to see this winter. So you're going to see, confidence slow down. You're going to see retail sales slow down. If this winter is cold, watch out. It's going to be ugly.
So we'll have to rename it the Consumer Pain Index instead of the
Absolutely.
Consumer Price Index. So, it was great catching up with you, Anthony. Are you interested in people following you, or you're just in your own world?
I'm in my own world right now, but certainly if anybody wants to ask my advice about anything, I'm available. So
What a giving guy. And you can find him on Twitter at Anthony Grizz, and that's GRIS you use there, or Z on your
Z.
Twitter? Okay,
Z.
Grizz, like grizzly bear.
Yeah, like grizzly.
But you're
bear.
a grizzly bull. Natural gas. Would you buy natural gas stocks on any pullback?
Absolutely. And I'd look at that, the funds too.
Okay.
Really, I like great gas. I mean, it's trading $8.50 now, Dale. I think you can see this go to $12.
Okay, and that's cheap still compared to what Europeans are paying right now.
Absolutely.
There's money on the arbitrage.
Right. Absolutely.
What our product, and it's getting smaller. It was bigger, but it was great catching up with you. And let's talk again down the road and see what's happening this fall and winter, Anthony. Glad we reconnected, buddy.
Great to talk to you.
All right, that's a wrap, everyone. Anthony Grizzanti. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony Grizz, Griz. Thanks again, Anthony, and everyone. Good hunting. I think we had a dollar turn, and I think you're seeing it reflected everywhere. That's a wrap. Don't just count your oil barrels or your pipelines, Anthony. Count your blessings. Right. Count your blessings, buddy.
Absolutely right.
All right, man.
Count your blessings is correct.
All right. So we agree on the most important thing. So thank you, man. That's a wrap, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see everyone next week.